I spent the next morning packing my bags in preparation to go home. I'm going to miss this place. A knock at my door startled me out of my thoughts. I opened it to see a man standing there with my phone in hand.
The games are over, so you can have this back.
He handed me my phone.
Now, if you could please hand over your tokens from yesterday's games, I can take them to be counted.
Yeah, sure. I quickly grabbed the tokens from my dresser and handed them to him. So, when will the winners be announced?
Tonight at the ball. Good luck, Miss Finkelbottom.
With that, he turned on his heel and walked away. It's really over. I closed the door before glancing at my phone. 3 missed calls. I dialed up the number I knew by heart and waited for the person on the other side to pick up.
Catbutt, hey! I honestly didn't expect to hear from you right now. I mean, you'll be back home tomorrow.
Mira!
What's wrong? Do I need to beat someone up?
I laughed at the seriousness in her voice. No, it's nothing like that.
Then what is it? You sound sad, and I don't like it when you're sad.
I think I may have done something I regret.
Did you have a one-night stand?
What? No! Get your mind out of the gutter for once!
Oh, come on. You know you love my gutter mind.
I love you, but I'm not sure about that last part.
Hey, you gotta take the whole package. No refunds.
I sighed, thinking about what she just said.
Hey, what's wrong? That was supposed to make you laugh, not sigh.
Well, it's just that I think I might have fallen in love.
What?
But instead of letting him in, I completely ran away from him.
Catbutt, why?
I was too afraid.
Afraid of what?
Getting my heart ripped apart if he decided I wasn't worthy of him. The thing is, I think I broke his heart instead.
Oh, Catbutt.
It's just, he's an actor, and I'm just me.
But if he likes you, then surely...
But does he like me, or does he like who he thinks I am? He doesn't know what my background is like. Fairy tales don't exist in real life, Mira. This isn't one of those movies.
Well, he'd be an idiot if he cared about your background. You're the cutest, sweetest person in the world, and you're a great cook to boot.
I smiled at her enthusiasm. Eric said the same thing. That if he really cared, it wouldn't matter. I guess I should have taken that chance when I had it. But it's too late now.
It's never too late for love.
You sound just like Eric.
I sound like one of the greatest movie stars of our time. That's a compliment if I ever heard one. Well, if things don't work out, I'll have your favorite movie and 2 cartons of ice cream waiting for you when you get home. Actually, they'll be waiting even if things do work out, but still.
Nothing's going to change, Mira.
You don't know that for sure.
Yeah, whatever. I talked to Mira a bit longer before we said our goodbyes, and I went back to packing. When I packed all my clothes, I paused and looked wistfully at the Count and Kippy dolls sitting side by side on my bed. I swallowed the lump in my throat as I gently picked them up and held them to my chest for a moment before placing them into my suitcase. I glanced at the clock and let out a sigh. It was time to get ready for the ball. When it was time, a servant knocked on my door to escort me to the ballroom. As I walked through the corridors, I couldn't help but remember the excitement of the last 2 weeks. I'm really going to miss this place. As the doors opened, I was met with the now familiar sight of the crowd of beautifully dressed people milling around. I looked around for my teammates. I spotted Mamaruni-san leaning against a wall, and Wolfie blushing furiously in the middle of a crowd of women. As for the Count, I couldn't see him anywhere. I walked over to Mamaruni-san. So, where's the Count? I didn't think he'd miss the ball.
Just because you can't see him doesn't mean he isn't around. This place is huge.
I guess you're right. The light suddenly dimmed as the spotlight illuminated a single figure, Eric.
Good evening to all my guests. I would once again like to thank you all for attending this event of mine. It wouldn't have been the same without every single one of you here. I'd also like to thank my staff for being so understanding and working so hard and showing the games ran as smoothly as they did. Now, as some of you have already figured out, this is the last annual Valdemar Spooktacular that I will be hosting.
A murmur ran through the crowd. I looked up at Mamaruni-san to see his unhappy, silent expression.
It's truly been an honor for me. If anyone else wishes to pick up the tradition, by all means do so. Invite me and I'll gladly join in the games. Just don't ask me to host them.
Humorous laughter ran through the crowd.
I'm afraid I've gotten too old for this. Well, that's enough of that. Please, everyone, enjoy this final night. I will announce the winner of this year's games in a few hours. Happy Halloween, everyone, not New Year's.
I left Mamaruni-san to grab a plate of food. As I walked through the ballroom, I constantly kept an eye out for the Count's black cape or spiky hair through the crowd. 1 or 2 times I could have sworn I saw him out of the corner of my eye, but when I turned, he was gone. I noticed the thick crowd that surrounded Eric wherever he went. His eyes met mine for a moment and I smiled at him. A strange expression crossed his face, but a tug at his sleeve had him glancing away from me to one of the young women at his side. Poor Eric, it must be hard being a host. I returned back to my search for good food and the Count. It was over an hour later that I started to feel disheartened by the fact that I hadn't found any signs of him. Where is he? I leaned against the wall and let out a frustrated sigh. It was then that I noticed the familiar flutter of a black cape and the all-too-familiar outfit walking by. Count! I called out to him without thinking. He quickly swiveled around at my call, and our eyes met. I watched his eyes widen in shock before he turned back around and walked away so fast he may as well have been running.
He's the guy who's not Count.
Yep, he's the body double. I froze. What was I expecting anyways?
That's so horrible!
Yesterday was fun, but it didn't change anything. I felt something wet stream down my cheek and touch the tears that I couldn't stop. No, I can't break down here, not in front of everyone. I turned and headed for the nearest exit. The tears made my vision blurry, and I knocked into a few guests on my way out, but at this time I couldn't care less. A hand suddenly grabbed my shoulder and spun me around.
What's going on? You nearly knocked me over back there.
I looked down at the floor. Sorry, I just needed some fresh air.
Oh, come on then, you're headed the wrong way. If you want fresh air, the balcony is this way.
He led me to a small secluded balcony just off the side of the ballroom. He let out an annoyed noise as he started removing the bandages on his head.
What?
He's gonna have them use it as tissue.
Oh my god!
What are you?
Here, wipe your face.
He shoved the bandages into my hands, and I gratefully used them to wipe my tears.
Oh my god. Thanks, these are really sweaty, but thanks. So what happened anyway? Last time I saw you, you were happily stuffing your face.
I was too upset to even be affected by his statement. I saw the Count.
What? Wait, you actually saw him?
Yeah, and then he ran away. Not that I blame him, but...
But how did... Oh, that idiot!
He turned around to leave, and then hesitated and turned back to me.
Just stay here, okay? Don't move, not for anything, not even food.
After saying that, he turned on his heel and left the balcony. I guess comfort eating is out of the question then.
Aw.
Minutes passed, and I started to contemplate returning to my room. I stood up after making my mind. What am I even waiting for anyway? I was just about to leave when the Count burst out onto the balcony. He closed the doors behind him before turning to face me. He was out of breath and looked frazzled compared to his usual self.
Eric, when his speed changed!
What? Before I could say another word, I was engulfed in his embrace.
Sir, sorry. Should I just do Eric voice at this point?
Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't get away sooner.
I pushed against his chest and put some space in between us, frustrated at his words. What do you mean by that? You looked right at me before turning your back.
It's not what you think. I'll explain it later, but first, there's something more important that I need to say.
I looked at the serious expression on his face and nodded silently.
Okay, well, here goes.
He took a deep breath before continuing.
I haven't been able to stop thinking about the last time, and I know you said no. But I think, wait, no, that's not right. What I want to say is...
He gently took both my hands in his.
I'm getting choked up. I don't want to give up on you, no matter who you are, what you do. None of it matters, as long as you love me back.
You say that, but you don't know.
I know enough. I know that you're a food connoisseur. Loyal, determined, spunky. Have a surprising love of books. Have a sweet tooth to rival my own. Not impressed by my money or job, or my jokes. You treat me like a person. You're the only woman to ever look past the mask I'm always hiding behind.
He gave my hands a gentle squeeze.
And did I forget to mention that you're the cutest girl I've ever met? I'll gladly spend the rest of my life finding out more about you.
I couldn't stop myself from bursting into tears at his speech.
What? Oh, I ruined it, didn't I? Please don't cry. I didn't. I'll just pretend I never said anything.
I threw my arms around his neck and pulled him close. No! I don't want to pretend. I don't want to give up on you either. Not if it means feeling like I've lost out on something important. I do love you.
I need a moment. I am not crying, but I have the feels that I might be on the verge of the crying. Really? You mean it?
He cheerfully picked me up and swung me around happily before setting me down.
This means I can kiss you, right?
I wiped my tears and looked up at him. I don't know. Can you?
If... If I don't hear a no, I'm going to take it as a yes.
I just smiled, and he took it as his cue to cover my lips with his own. We pulled apart at the sound of the balcony door slamming open. The Count's eyes flicked over to the door where Eric's head butler could be seen, and he let out an annoyed sound.
Your timing is horrid, Joshua. I apologize for the interruption, but it's time for your speech, Master Valdemar.
Did he just call you Master Valdemar? He closed his eyes and took a deep breath before looking at me with a regretful expression.
It's Eric now!
It's Eric!
It's Eric now!
It's Eric!
It's Eric!
It's Eric!
This isn't how I wanted you to find out. Master Valdemar, your guests are waiting. I just need to. You've kept them waiting long enough, sir. You're right, Joshua.
The Count, Eric, lifted a hand to caress my cheek.
We'll talk about this later, okay? Alright?
All right. He gave me one last longing look before leaving the room. I took a moment to gather myself before leaving the balcony and heading back into the ballroom. As I left, I noticed Mamaruni-san standing beside the door with a smirk on his face. You knew?
I know a lot of things. You're going to be more specific.
About Eric! You sneaky motherfucker!
I'm so sneaky. I take it he told you then.
No, his butler did.
Oh, well, tough break, Eric. Although in my defense, I did try to stop Joshua, but no one can stop that guy when he's on a mission.
Did you know from the start of the games?
I'd like to say yes, but I didn't. He dropped enough clues for me to figure it out, though. Now, come on, if Joshua took him, then he's going to announce the winners soon, and I'm not missing that.
He led me back to the center of the ballroom just in time for the lights to dim and the spotlight to shine on Eric. Now that I was looking for them, I could see the similarities between Eric and the Count. A hushed silence descended through the room as everyone waited in anticipation for the winners to be announced. Same eye shape.
It's finally time for what you've all been waiting for.
Same hair color.
I know you've all worked hard, and soon you'll know it paid off.
Same height.
But first, let's reveal the prizes.
Same boyish smile.
The first prize is a one-of-a-kind set of jewelry fashioned by an up-and-coming jewelry maker of the year, Reno. Next is La Lambavino. For those of you who aren't car enthusiasts, it's a very limited edition car capable of amazing speed. There's also an all-expense-paid trip for the four to the Maldives for 2 weeks. Maldives, I never decided, but we figured out, whatever, fuck it. The tickets are transferable, so they can be given away as gifts if the winners aren't interested. And lastly, there's a magnificent framed painting of Kippy, painted by yours truly.
The crowd groaned loudly at this.
Okay, I kid. I didn't paint it. It was painted by an up-and-coming artist, though. Now remember, all four of these prizes go to the winning team to decide however they wish. Okay, and the winners are... Wolfie, Mamaruni-san, the Count, and Miss Archer. Congratulations! Give it up for them, everybody!
The crowd burst into applause, even as Mamaruni-san and I stared at each other in shock.
Holy crap, we actually won! Please come to collect your trophy. Yes, there's a trophy too.
Mamaruni-san and I made our way to the stage, and I noticed Wolfie and someone dressed as the Count do so too. Mamaruni-san fixed Eric with a glare.
That car is mine. That's for you to discuss with your team. It's no matter of mine. We did it!
We did! The Count just remained silently smiling.
Aren't you excited, Count?
I watched the imposter's eyes widen and dart around before he nodded.
The Count has a bit of a sore throat, Mr. Wolfie. Oh, I'm sorry, Count. I hope you feel better soon.
Wolfie looked at the Count for a moment longer.
Is it just me, or is there something different about the Count? Oh, you know what they say. You look like a totally different person when sick. I guess you're right.
I looked closely at the Count and noticed a few subtle differences from the face I had grown used to seeing. They weren't major, but definitely enough for someone who was looking closely to notice.
And that concludes the final night of the Valdemar Games. There's still plenty of food, drinks, and music, so don't hurry off just yet. Enjoy this final night.
He gave the others a final handshake before coming to me and offering a hand.
Meet me later at...
Before he could finish his sentence, the crowd had converged on him once again and pushed me away.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever get used to seeing that happen. Now back to business. That car is mine. Divide the rest however you want, but no one else is touching that car. Oh, and Count says he wants that Kippy picture.
We all turned to him in shock.
Don't look at me, he mouthed that he wanted it. I just lip read.
So that leaves the trip and the jewelry.
The jewelry is beautiful, but I think it'll suit you much more than me.
Oh, then you can have the trip.
Well, I'm not sure I have 3 other people that I'd want to spend 2 whole weeks with.
Why don't we all take a ticket and have a reunion one day? The tickets don't have an expiration date.
Ah, yeah, that sounds awesome.
Hey, Wolfie, didn't you say you'd sing us a victory song?
I did, didn't I? Well, go up there and show us. I keep going count, fuck that, not count, Eric, fuck. Well, go up there and show us what you've got. You just want to know who I am. I won't deny that. Now, are you going to sing or not? I'll do it.
Wolfie spoke to the musicians that were playing before heading towards, the mic. He seemed like a different person as he grasped it.
Okay, if I can get everyone's attention, I would like to dedicate this song to my newfound friends. I've spent 2 unforgettable weeks with them, and I hope they enjoyed it as much as I did.
A familiar tune began to play and heads swiveled in his direction. Oh, gosh, that's Tiger!
I touched Tiger! That's Midwolf's Tiger. Will wonders ever cease?
Damn, Mira's gonna be so jealous! Sorry guys, I can't skip the song. Can't do it.
I might have accidentally skipped it. A long time ago.
He finished his song and smiled at us, before being carried away by a sea of screaming fangirls. Should we help him out?
Are you kidding me? You want to jump in there with those vultures? I learned my lesson after the one time I tried to help Eric. No, thank you. It's safer to create a distraction. I've already used up my distraction.
Do I even want to know?
No. No, you don't.
Well, I still
yeah,
think...
you use it for Eric to change for us.
Yeah. Well, I still think we should help him.
And Eric will never forgive me if I let something happen to you. Fine. I'll help, but I'm telling you now it needs to be big.
We began to plot a way to save Wolfie and escape from the fangirls.